PR Connections Radio presents. This episode of the PR Connections podcast is brought to you by Classy Communications PR and Advertising. Classy Communications provides public relations and marketing solutions for businesses, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. They can deliver the true meaning of your business with press releases, social media marketing, web development, email marketing, book publishing, and much more. Wherever your potential clients are, they can help you connect with them. Visit classycommunications.net to learn more about their suite of services that can help your business stand out from the rest. Classy Communications is your solution for business success.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PR Connection Show. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am your host, and I am here with a friend of mine that I met recently who is a very influential person in the Las Vegas community, in the Nevada community, and elsewhere with a lot of her leadership endeavors. Her name is Cherie Williams, and one of the organizations that she represents is the General Federation of Women's Clubs. It is an organization that has been around for a very, very long time. We look forward to learning more about it today, as well as your other leadership endeavors. Welcome to the show, Cherie.
Well, Guy, thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes, I call myself a serial volunteerer, because I do volunteer in the community a lot. My parents taught me that if you don't take care of the community won't take care of you. And the General Federation of Women's Clubs, or GFWC, is an international organization. We have chapters in all 50 states and 20 international countries. So we are global. We have, the website says 60,000 members, but I just returned from a board meeting and our membership is up to over 73,000 members worldwide. And what we do is we are an organization. GFWC is an umbrella organization of organizations. I'm a member of a ladies club called the Mesquite Club. And the Mesquite Club was established in 1911. It's one of the oldest nonprofits in the state of Nevada. And it was the wives of the men that were building Las Vegas. And the Mesquite Club is a member of GFWC. And that's how I became state president. As state president, we have 4 clubs here in Nevada. There's one in Lamoille, there's the Mesquite Club, and there's one in Green Valley. And our other club is our past president. So it's kind of members that are already members. But all of our clubs do community service. And we do our best to try to support the community however we can. And if I, just to say, GFWC, our signature program is to help create awareness about sexual and domestic violence. And this, we have this called International Day of Service. And Saturday, September 27th is our International Day of Service, although we do the service before and after. And what we do is we're just documenting the fact that we're working to bring awareness to domestic and sexual violence and trying to do our best to eradicate it.
How did you get involved with GFWC?
Well, I met a lady at a luncheon at the Las Vegas Country Club one day, and she told me she was a member of the Mesquite Club and invited me to join the club. So I joined the club, and as a member of the Mesquite Club, I became a member of GFWC, since the Mesquite Club is a member of that organization. And as my membership went along, I was asked to become president-elect and ultimately state president. And I am just finishing my 3rd 2-year term as state president, which is kind of unusual. But the state of Nevada, our membership is small here. We have less than 200 members throughout the state. And my goal is to try to bring awareness to what GFWC does and hopefully bring in new members. We have a headquarters in Washington, D.C., and our international president lives there for her 2-year term. The wonderful part is that she gives us a voice on the Hill. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we advocate. We do not lobby, but we advocate. And when our international president, her name is Sue Ellen Brazil, when she goes to the Hill to talk to the legislators, they know that there are over 70,000 women's ears that are listening to see how they are going to support our communities and what actions they're going to take. So that gives us a lot of clout.
And as I had done some research into your organization, Cherie, I saw that there have been many very prominent women in America who have been a part of GFWC. Would you like to name some of the prominent American women who've been members?
What I can remember, I know Eleanor Roosevelt. Okay, GFWC is over 150 years old. Mm-hmm. They were doing this work. Okay, now we have our cell phones, we have cars, we have all of this. They were doing this work and coming together when they had to come on trains and carry their typewriters with them and mail information to each other. But Eleanor Roosevelt was a member. I do remember that. Nixon's mother, Richard Nixon's mother, whose name I don't have, but Jane Crowley is one of our founders. And the reason she started this organization was she was a writer and she wanted to join a club for writers, but the club only accepted men. And as we women do, when you tell us we can't do anything, we find a way to get it started. And she activated women locally and in Washington. I think she was in the Washington area, and then it just started to spread. So there are others, and I just don't quite remember them. But we do. I know our current mayor here in Las Vegas, Shelley Berkeley, is a member of our club as well. So the women do activate, and we also try to stay in touch with our legislators so that they can hear our voice and we can talk to them.
As president of the state of Nevada, Cherie, what are your responsibilities?
Well, my responsibilities are to represent the state of Nevada at our board meetings. They have 2 board meetings a year, and that's there's the local chapter, and then there's the international chapter. And I go to the International Board of Directors. So as a state president, I'm a member of the International Board of Directors, and we go there. And what they also do at the board meetings is they really encourage education about a variety of things, history, and the history of women, and they also teach leadership skills. We have workshops on how to be a leader. It doesn't always come naturally to everyone. And sometimes people are a little shy about doing that, but they help us get past that fright and to learn that when you're talking to people and you are a leader, they're not going to bite you. And when you talk, they will listen, especially if you're talking about something that's relative. And I'd like to say, if you see behind me, I have these banners for Votes for Women. One major project GFWC is working with right now. If you've ever gone to the National Mall in Washington, D.C., you see all of the monuments there, right? There are absolutely no monuments dedicated to women. And we are there is in the works a women's suffrage monument that will be coming up. I think they're talking about completion by about 2033. And recently at several of our meetings, we helped to raise about $90,000 to help support this. So we're working to give a voice to women and help educate them about most women today don't realize that years ago women couldn't vote. We couldn't have credit cards. We couldn't do anything. And we need to educate our young people about that as well.
Earlier in the interview, Cherie, you had talked about your parents instilling a sense of service in you at a young age, which is something that I find is very common among volunteers or people who become engaged in civic organizations such as the one that you're a part of. What in your upbringing were they just very civic minded themselves and you just kind of patterned yourself after them? How did you take what they taught you and run with it?
Well, I was born in Chicago. My mother worked for the Department of the Army, and my father was a bus driver in Evanston, Illinois, and ultimately became a regional vice president for Seagram's. But they were always active in the local neighborhoods and keeping track of we used to have block parties. And I don't remember them being so much active in the well, actually they were. My mother was very active politically because she knew our alderman's wife and our mayor's wife, and actually our mayor. So I was around that all the time. I saw them interacting with that. And in our local community, they would go to the, local meetings to see what's happening in the community to be sure that everything's working the way it should. And that's, we need to keep our voice. A lot of times people are very unhappy with the way things are in their neighborhood or in their city, but they just sit there and don't say anything. And if you're unhappy with things, you must realize that if you use your voice, you can make a difference. So one person can, because you will realize that you're not the only person that probably has that thought, if that makes sense. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, my mom and
taking action, how important it is to put your hands on things, Cherie. And so hearing about your background and how long you've been engaged in volunteerism and that you've carried this well into your adult life, there tends to, as I had mentioned before, there's a seed that's planted early on about that type of engagement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I'm 73 years old. I don't mind telling people how old I am. So I've had a few circles around the sun, but my goal in life is to help inspire young people, to help them. I feel sometimes that our young people don't feel they have a voice because they become so engulfed in technology. And technology has its place, but our voice is what gives us the power. When you talk to someone, when you go out and you speak to someone face to face and tell them your thoughts and you listen to their thoughts. You can agree to disagree. I'll tell you, I know a lot of people that we do agree to disagree, but we listen to each other's thoughts and then we realize, okay, we're apart in these areas, but we can come together in others. And this is what our society, I think, today is lacking. And in fact, in GFWC, we have all of these women who come together and we're all politically diverse, I'll put it that way, but we work together to help support our communities. I was just in Long Beach last weekend. We had our regional conference and we did a community service project, which was kind of cool. I don't know if you've ever seen these diaper cakes where what we did is we created diaper cakes with diapers and toys and everything and wrapped them up in cellophane. And they were taken to the local military base for the wives of our servicemen that are that are being deployed. And we try to do that. We collected soaps for the local shelter because, a lot of the shelters don't have the resources, soap, toothpaste, things like that. That's what they need. And that's what I've learned. I never realized that these organizations are so needy. And I'm not able to do much financially all the time, but I can with resources, and I also can with my voice.
And you had touched on the importance of spreading inspiration with the youth, Cherie. And if there were some lessons that you might want to hand over, having been involved in a lot of leadership throughout your life, as you've talked about, to the young people about how to be leaders in their communities, what would you say to them?
That's an interesting question. I would say, what is your passion? In fact, that's when you're volunteering, you start with your heart and your passion. You know, are you concerned about your neighborhood? Are you concerned about your school? What are you concerned about? And talk to other young people and see if you can come together there and talk to adults. I love talking to young people to make them understand that their voice is important. As a youth in Chicago, I was never told that. I never realized that. And I won't say I was disenfranchised, but I was uninformed, I guess is a good way to put that. And as I grew up and came out into the world, I came from Chicago to California, and I went to school in California. And when I got married, my husband and I moved here to Nevada. And the interesting thing about California is, you know, you have your politicians and whatever, and you never get to address them easily. What I love about being here in Nevada, I go to the grocery store and I see the mayor or her husband, or I see some of the politicians, and you can actually walk up to them and say hello. And it's not like, stop, you can't get next to them. So I try to let young people know, talk to each other first, and then talk to adults and come together. And even if you guys have different ideas, you can collaborate. That's a big word in our society, especially in the nonprofit and the business, is collaboration. So many nonprofits hold their information tightly. And if we collaborate together, we expand our network. You know, it's not like we're giving away the information. We're just giving people your information and our information, if that makes sense.
Yes. And Cherie and I met at an event recently for Nonprofit Awareness Day. It was really an excellent opportunity to learn about nonprofits in your community. And the nonprofit that you were representing that day was Nevada Donor Network.
Nevada Donor Network.
Yeah. Would you like to share with the audience about what they do?
Okay. This is part of my being a serial volunteer. I'm a widow right now. I was married. My husband had liver cancer and cirrhosis and needed a liver transplant. So I decided to research because I knew nothing about organ donation and anything like that. So I found an organization that's local here in Las Vegas, Nevada Donor Network. And Nevada Donor Network helps to educate the community about organ donation and organ transplants. And they help with eye tissue and organ donation as far as finding the recipients for that. The sad part about the state of Nevada, in the state of Nevada, you can only receive a kidney transplant, and they're working on pancreas. So Clyde needed a liver transplant, and we had to drive to California for him to have his liver transplant because there are no facilities here. And the reason being is Nevada's growing faster than the population's growing faster than the infrastructure. So they're working on getting these services, but it just takes time. And well, Clyde did receive a liver transplant, although there was cancer outside the liver. So about 5 months later, he passed away. But even though there was cancer in his body, he was also able to donate his corneas. And a lot of people don't realize that you can receive, but you can also give. And this is a very uncomfortable conversation with a lot of people. And I respect that. But I also try to say, do you want to wait to a point where maybe you or somebody in your family might need a transplant and then you don't have the education for it? I read an article about a woman whose 15-year-old son was in the wrong place at the wrong time and was shot, and he was dying. He was brain dead. And the doctors asked her about donating his organs. Well, she was in the throes of, she didn't think about doing that. She was in the throes of grief. That was the word I was thinking of, and said no. She says, nope, I will not do it. And she later researched it and regretted the fact that she didn't do it. Her son could have saved lives with 8 major organs. You can donate tissue. You can donate skin. You can donate your corneas. And our bodies are just amazing. And why not give life afterwards? I also have a friend whose son died as well, and she met the gentleman who received his double lungs. And when she hugged him, she felt as if she had her son back. Mm-hmm. So it's an uncomfortable situation. We don't want to think about dying. We don't want to think about them taking our organs, but think about the fact that you can give life past that.
Yes, a very worthy nonprofit organization that is literally saving lives. And as you mentioned, Cherie, a lot of people don't really know that they even have the option of giving their donating their organs after they pass away. I guess that's one of the great things about nonprofit organizations is the awareness that they create in the community. Yes. So you being a representative, I'm sure that helps a lot. Having ambassadors like you to go out and let the community know that these services are available. Otherwise, a lot of people have no idea that there's opportunities out there that could help to save their lives or a loved one's lives. That's why it's so wonderful. One of the reasons why volunteerism is just a wonderful thing in communities.
Yeah, being a volunteer, the pay is not great, but but actually the pay you get back in the good feelings, and when you see people survive and thrive from your efforts of volunteering in the community, I think that's more. It's so much more. It really, really fills my heart. With Nevada Donor Network, I've actually talked to a lot of people about this, and I've had people that have come back to me and said, I hadn't considered being a donor, but after listening to what you have told me, I'm doing it now, which makes, as far as I'm concerned, I love that I've done my job. So, but yeah, being a volunteer in your community helps support your community and you get to know your neighbors, you get to know everything. And as you know, it just helps to support the infrastructure of our cities.
Absolutely does. And it was such a pleasure to have you stop by today, Cherie, to talk about your leadership and your philanthropy and volunteerism. And for our listeners out there, if there's any women who might be interested in being a part of the General Federation of Women's Clubs, how could they get in contact with you or someone who's a part of that organization?
Well, we do have a website. It's gfwcnevada.org, I think. I can't remember. I've got so many websites, but they can contact me. Can I give my phone number?
Absolutely.
Okay. My cell number is 310-710-9792. You can call or text me, and then I can give you more information. And I'll be happy to accept your call and tell you whatever I can and point you in the right direction where you can at least become involved in either General Federation of Women's Clubs, Nevada Donor Network, but where you can help our community.
Well, thank you again, Cherie, for being a part of the PR Connections radio show today. And for all of the listeners out there, the civic spirit that Cherie talked about, giving back to her community as a volunteer, serving in organizations that improve the lives of others, is just such a heartwarming. And when she talked about, yes, volunteerism doesn't really line your pockets necessarily, but it does line your spirit, and the connections and being able to have these types of influences on people's lives through the nonprofit sector. Again, you're one of the true heroes in the community, Cherie.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you for having me and giving me this voice to help people, because that's what I try to do.
Yeah, keep doing all your amazing work out there. And thank you all for tuning into the PR Connections show here at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. I always want to let you know, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to PR Connections on YouTube, and also listen to us on a variety of audio streaming platforms. Of course, a lot of social media sites as well, but our audio streaming presence is growing very rapidly. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and other sites where you can listen to this podcast and other podcasts on our network as well. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you on the next show. Take care of yourselves.
PR Connections Radio thanks you for watching this podcast. Check out more episodes of this show and our others at prconnectionsradio.com.